Good day, Grand Rising. Good day, Grand Rising to each and every one of you. How are you today? Beautiful. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you, Allison. Thank you for being here. There's a lot of energy, so I'm settling in, and there's been bits and pieces that have been received. So we're gonna get down and we're gonna do some earth, air, fire, water, but I do know that there will be, of course, intertwining collective messages and narratives and directives that pertain to each and every one of you in a different way. Thank you, guys. I wasn't here. Did I go on yesterday? Yeah. No? I don't know. I was there for a while. I was on yesterday. I don't know what yesterday is to you because my timelines are running through. Today is like Sunday for me. So Friday was on. Tonight we have a pretty cool podcast planned for tonight. So I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I'm just gonna tell you that you better be there, is what I'm gonna say. So it'll be at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So Jay and I are gonna have a guest on with us tonight on the podcast. So we're not gonna say nothing else other than that. So because I don't know what Spirit has planned. I just know that they have planned that. And that is that part of that piece. So we're gonna dive in. We're going to some of these may go deep today, all right? And it just depends on where you're at. Now, just so you know, the sun is in Leo, and then we've got Mercury and Gemini that are playing around as well. So you also know that the energy of, you know, moons and Kanzimis and stuff like that, they're going to take a while. Like this could be up to the next 5 to 6 months that this energy becomes more impactful, this energy becomes more insightful. And a lot of you are going to have revelations today, right? About many different things, not just about self, but about many different things is what they're giving me. And when I get to channel through to the elements here of earth, air, fire, water, I'll let you know. But right now, this is the directive that they've asked me to go, is just deliver this collective because it's pertinent to each and every one of you. So there's a lot of revelations that you're going through. Okay, this is part of the energy of Mercury with Gemini. You know, Mercury's a little bit of a trickster, okay? So it's not in a negative way. It's just that the mind can play today, and it's up to you on how you want to play, is what's being said to me. So there's going to be a lot of revelations. Okay, some of these revelations are going to release you from stagnation. So that means that there's going to be breakthroughs today, right? And a breakthrough doesn't necessarily mean it's on this grand, great scale. Thank you so much, Angie. It means that a breakthrough can be a mental thing, the way that you see something differently, right? So there was a message from Archangel Gabriel and Mercury and Hermes that came through a while ago to me. And it was, oh my God, I think it was back in 2019. And it says, miracle after miracle comes my way. Miracle after miracle follows me every day. My miracles come to me in the most wonderful way. And so part of the miracle is the perspective shift. So there's going to be a lot of revelations. There's going to be a lot of things, a lot of awarenesses. But this is just relevant to your own experience. I'm not even talking about on a collective scale. It's pertinent to you. It's pertinent to where you're at. It's like, oh, that's what I need to do. Oh, that's what I need to get done. So there's going to be a lot of forward direction. But at the same time, they really want you to ground in this energy and have some fun. Okay? And the imagination is a part of the soul. And so we call it the imagination in the culture here in America, but really it is your soul. And when you start to use your imagination and open yourself up, that is the child's-like energy that we talk about. It's not that you are in a state of mind as a child or in a state of energy as a child. It's where you are in a state of energy of connecting to your soul. It's when, remember when you were kids and when you would play house, or when you would play cashier, or when you would play cops and robbers, and when you would play all these kinds of different things, you would use your imagination. And even back in the times of one of my favorite movies, Santa Claus with Tim Allen, where Tim Allen comes back and he delivers all the presents to the adults that the adults never got, but it was their favorite presents that they always wanted. And for a moment, they started to relive and revitalize and reuse their imagination and come alive once again. And so I want you to know that the divine is really trying to tap you into that energy in being playful, in not having reservation. And so reservation was one of the key words that I got before I got to come here today. And it's about having reservations of self-doubt, reservations of how you think it's going to go about, reservations or assumptions, because right now you cannot assume and you cannot have any reservations about anything, because things are going to not be in the way in which you perceive them. You have to get to a very detailed level of revelations, and myself and someone else were speaking this last night, because it's very important that when you receive a message, you can't just sit there and think that that is it. You have to digress it. You have to sit with it. You have to take it to, the divine. You have to take it to Yeshua. And so this is what they're talking about in the revelations that you're having. In the energy, it might look like it's tricky, or the way that you've been shown something's going to happen, or the way that you've been told something's going to happen may not exactly happen that way, because the way that they can show us things that help us absorb these things, to understand these things in a human way, is the best way that they have to sometimes communicate, through the visual and the clairaudience. So remember, it's a frequency that they are communicating, and it's you, and it's up to you to put the verbiage or the frequency with that frequency that's coming through. This is a huge responsibility, and people don't take that into accountability. So messages that may be spoken and things like that you may be receiving may not always mean exactly the way that they come through, because of the fact is that the way that you, as the intuitive, as the seer, is putting a verbiage on that. So it's your job, when you hear the frequency, when you feel the frequency, when it's transmitted through, it is you most of the time that is giving that verbiage, that is giving that understanding, unless you are in a complete space of channeling. And so when I hear these things, I hear the frequency, which is the telepathy that's coming through. Now, when I work in connection with the divine, it always comes through the heart space, no other place. And so the communication comes through the heart space, all right? And then it comes up and out of that place, and that's in a different type of energy. When I'm in a teaching space, or a space of speaking of something they want me to teach about and speak to you about today, it's a completely different energy. And so you are the one that is putting the energy to that verbiage. And this is why a lot of people have jumped on the fear bandwagon, and have jumped on this bandwagon and that bandwagon, because they believe that what they hear or what they see is completely real and true in this reality. Great, thank you. And so the issue then in this place and space is you're really having to take the messages and the visions and what you're being given to a sacred place within yourself. This is part of the internal, right, space where you go and you receive what that really means for you. And I've always told people on this channel, time after time, take this back to your team. Sit with your team. Sit with what it means to you in revelations with what I'm saying to you, because it's relevant that you don't have any reservations about how things are going to go, how things are going to play out, the way this is or the way that is right now, because it makes a difference. It makes a difference in the universal energy that you're able to tap into. And if you sit there and you think that that is going to happen in the exact way that it's going to happen, you are going to be surprised. Now, that's part of the breakthrough. That's part of the fun, right? It's not the demise. It's, oh shit, this is this instead of this. Our human mind dummies things down. And so when you're really connecting with the eternal and the internal and the divine, it's really coming to a place where if they're going to give you a message or they're going to give you a vision, they're going to give it to you not just once. They're going to give it to you twice. And they're going to give it to you again. And they're going to give it to you again. It's not going to be once. This is why we ask you to sit in that space with the divine and see what it really is and see what it really means. But a lot of you hesitate, is what they're saying. So you take things and what you perceive and then you run with it. And that's part of the energy of Mercury right now with the Cazimi, with the connection to Gemini. So make sure that you are taking care of your mind. If you're having these visions, if you're having revelations, if you're having these messages come through, sit with them, because it's one of those things that you sit with to realize what it really is or what it really means to you, okay? Now we're going to jump in and do earth, air, fire, water, okay? Because the way that it means to one person and the way that it seems to one thing is not the way that it's going to be necessarily given. It's like the telephone game. And you really have to sit with yourself. And so when I receive messages or visions such as Yeshua with the American flag and a brand new baby in January and February talking to me about the birth of the new America, you know how long I sat with that vision and I sat in that space before I was able to even speak about it in this space? Over literally 8 months. See, the things that I get to say and the things that I get to release are not because, boom, it's there. And those big things are occurring in those ways. When I started seeing 3 years ago about the change in the currency and how it was being shown, I sat with that in revelation with the divine for days upon end before I was able to release that. And that's the divine integrity and the divine authority that I have in this space to make sure that what I am receiving and what you are perceiving and being given is the right frequency and the right frame of mind. Okay? That's the importance. And so if I don't ask you to go sit with the things that come through that are relevant to you and discern them in your own space or your messages or your visions, then I'm not doing my job as the mentor, as the sage in the way that I've been built to be, and it's a part of me and it's a part of my integrity. Now, this is really big because for earth signs, okay, there are going to be 3 shifts for you is what they're saying. 1, 2, 3. Now, there's going to be 3 shifts in the next week, okay? There is going to be something that comes in that is hard for you to perceive or hard for you to believe. Now, this could be in your own pertinency or this could be on a collective scale of energy. But I want you to know, earth signs, when we talk to you here, we are focusing on your north node. We are focusing on your sun sign. And we are focusing on your Cancer, your rising, right? My rising is Cancer. We're focusing on your rising. So when I talk to you in these ways, in the elemental ways, we are focusing on the sun sign, the north node, and the rising sign, okay? So in this way, what they're showing me is earth signs, you are going to have to see something in revelations. And this is for your own pertinent being. Okay, it's for your own personal pertinent experience. Okay, that thing is going to, it's going to move you in the direction that you need, because there's 3 shifts for you over the next week. Okay, and so that shift is going to put you in the vibration that you need to be in. Now, when they're showing me this, they're showing me shift, shift, shift. Now, the first shift is going to be something that you come to terms with. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a negative thing. It's a realization. It's a premonition. It's a dream. It's a vision space. It's a past loved one coming to speak to you from another place. It can all be different things. And I'm not the one that is going to tell you that it's going to be something negative or whatever. It's supposed to be an experience for your growth. There is no negative. There's no bad. There's no positive. It's just. And that's the universal energy that we're dealing with right now, is things are just. Okay, and that's the energy that it's coming with. Okay, now the second shift, second jump, thank you, Spirit, that you're gonna make, okay, is gonna be sideways. So what that means to me is that you're gonna have this realization, and then after this jump, after that realization, you're gonna jump. It's gonna put you in forward motion for your growth. There's a sideways jump. So you go forward and then you're going sideways. So it's parallel. So which means that you're gonna feel like you're in a hallway. You're gonna feel like you have a decision to make. You're gonna feel like you're up against something, is the best way that I can say this, but this is for your growth to actually jump to that third space that you need to go, is what they're giving me. Okay, so when you make the first revelation or realization, earth signs, that you have, it's going to be for your growth that's pertinent. Then you're going to be in a hallway after this realizations until the next energy pulls upon your spirit to get you to jump. And when you make that jump, you'll be right where you need to be. That is the best way that I can say this to you, that they are showing that to me. Okay, now there's going to be a lot of dreams, and there is going to be a lot of revelation that's coming through to you. Okay, and there's going to be things that you start seeing, or maybe even mention or start speaking of, that you as a human vessel really, forgive me when I say this, know nothing about, but yet your soul knows about it, but yet you're going to feel like you know about it, but you realize in a human level you really don't know much about it, but your soul knows about it. And all of that is just available to you to grasp. So this is very divine wisdom and divine knowledge that's coming through when you hit that third level in which you're trying to get to. Okay, that's the best way that I can say that for you, earth signs. Okay, the letter A is significant, and right now they are connecting you to the stars. So some of you have been looking, okay, at the stars a lot more. Okay, also there's something about your scars, and I'm not talking about your spiritual or internal scars here. I'm talking about your physical scars, because your physical scars are also scars from past lifetimes that you've had. In a sense, maybe you got hurt in a different way this lifetime, but yet the scar is in the same place that it was when it left a trace. So maybe you guys have markings or signs or signatures and miracles and wonders on your body somewhere that was not once there. This is just something that's pertinent for confirmation later on. Okay, that's what I can give you and tell you at this moment as well. Now your relationships, your relationships, or the way that you're relating means more to you today. So the accountability that you have for things that you say, the practicality for the way that you're doing something. Okay, sometimes they're telling me that you're way too practical and you're way too logical, and because of the practicality or the logic that you put behind it, you draw things out too long, earth signs, instead of just moving into it. So sometimes when you're dealing with spirit, you can't be necessarily always practical or logical. You just have to kind of step into it. And that's the energy that they're giving me here. Right now, you can't necessarily make any plans for anything because fate and destiny are at play, and none of us have been in this energy this way before. So the best thing that you can do is sit in observation, right? So they are showing me that you're just observing things as they kind of come in, tweaking things as, you know, you need them for yourself as well. There's something about a shooting star, and it's pertinent to basically, I don't know if maybe you've seen a shooting star lately, made a wish on a star. There's something about a shooting star or a wish on a star right now. Okay? Now, thank you. So Yeshua is standing next to me at this time, and Yeshua wants me to ask the collective to pray for the collective as a whole. Stop praying for your wants, your needs, your desires. Those are the material strongholds that have a space on your heart, is what Yeshua is saying. And right now, we need to collectively come together and collectively bring an energy together of prayer over the collective as a whole. And after that, you're going to find more of your narrative and directive. When you start holding space or praying for others or for the collective as a whole, in a different type of way, you get to receive more revelations about your abundancies and your pathways, and the energy of truth of what you carry inside of you. And many don't understand the ripple effect and the power of prayer that you have, and some of you neglect that space. You pray for material things, financial things, and those are things that are in an understanding that we need to survive and live, yes. But when you give to someone that gave to you so freely of the abundancies that you do have, how hard is it for you to sit and pray for others, maybe others you don't even know yet? And this is allowing more of what you want to be able to see, your passion, your purpose, your placement. We're being called to really step into an accountability on another level. And so Yeshua has asked me to ask you guys at these times to do that. Thank you. And that was just very important at that moment before we transition. So thank you, Yeshua. Thank you. The ripple effect of one prayer that you have for another, it reaches dimensional layers that you may not even truly understand yet or connect to. It's the fabric of all life, and it's the internal inside you. The divine is trying to revive you, not from a place or space of brokenness or disgrace, but from a place where you have a place to rest. You have a place in a space that feels like home best. You have a peace and a reverence about yourself that divinely comes through your chest when you are in that energy that you truly do know best, but the energies of the enemies knew when you were born. And The deliverance is the understanding that you were truly made for more. And they just turned my light to rainbow. And there are going to be many signs of miracles and wonders of the divine in multiple different times because of the prayers that you set forth through the magical fabricated layers. One way that the divine knows to bring its people together is through trial, tribulation, and suffering. Because then you come outside of yourself to give to someone else, to the one that freely gave to you. And so the divine and Yeshua are definitely asking at this time for you to keep peace in mind, for you to open your heart space, to allow yourself to breathe in the new energy, because the grieving process of what you used to be is a place where that is the external, not the internal. And a lot of you are deriving into sacred circles, and the power of prayer, the power of worship that will get you through the trial or the tribulation. It's because you're praying for another. And when you pray for your brother or your sister or your mother or whatever that is that you see in another, you actually heal those places inside of you as well that needed the power of Yeshua and the divine to come through. And so when you pray for other things outside of yourself, rather than your health, your material wealth, your this, your that, your direction, your gifts, your abilities, you open up your channel in more of a divine way to be in tune with many things outside of yourself rather than just inside of yourself. And so when you have a call of action to do something for someone else, it's because it's being placed on your heart from a higher space, but yet you question your faith and you question your belief. And so you are in a state of where, when you question yourself, you are in a state of grief, and the trials and the tribulations that actually bring you and the divine smiles to know that you're not alone, to know that you have a place that is safe to call home. Call on I, me, we are it. We are of the divine authority that is here to help you in seniority through this transitional conquest that each and every one of you are on. And through trials and tribulation, you don't realize how emotionally, mentally, or spiritually strong you truly become. And so I ask of you to pray for one another, to pray for your brother, to pray for your sister, to pray for the collective as a whole through these monumental shifts that are going to take place, which have had strongholds on my children for days, years, months, weeks, lifetimes, and faulty revelations that were not of the divine, that were not in placement this time. The time has come for you to know yourself again, for you to know that I am within. And when you pray for another, you allow the abundances to come into your life. Every time that I have fasted, every time that I have prayed, every time that someone has asked me for deliverance or for a prayer or for whatever that is, it happens in days. When you come outside of yourself in your unintentional ways. And so the divine is truly asking you to lead from a heart forward space at this time, and lead with your heart, not what your mind is telling you to do. And so when the divine comes through, it's a pulsation in the heart space that makes you feel in vibration that you just have to do this thing. So when this spirit is placed upon you to just do that thing, that will bring holy reverence and peace within you and other vessels around you, you will allow to see what the divine can truly do for you in the universal reality, not just the reality in which you and many have succumbed to. This is not the finality. This is the next level of what was, what has been, and what always will be. And it is what was left out in multiple revelations, you'll see. It's something that you can feel inside, D, but yet it's hard to put okay, whatever, bro. Verberation, okay, in that energy and vision to what will be, because no one truly understands or knows potentially the divine that has a hand on each and every one of you this lifetime. Just bogarted the elements today. That's all right. Okay. When the divine, and yes, when God speaks, they speak. The divine is talking about the meek, and when the divine talks about the meek, it's not talking about the weak. The divine is not talking about the weak. The divine is talking about those that understand and know what's going on this lifetime. Okay? Right now, the only energy that is last to come through is they disconnect from me, is asking me to ask you to sit for someone else today, not for yourself, and be in a space of prayer and worship for the collective and the new directives. So this is a spiritual thing, and it's always been a spiritual thing, and now it's more relevant than ever as Yeshua sings through the collective on another level of happening. Thank you. All right. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here today. As that energy shifts. All right. It's always a beautiful gift. You never know what's going to happen when we show up. And I told Jay this morning, I said, Jay, I'm telling you right now, I have a big pull, and it's a bigger pull than I've had in a few days now. I just need to show up. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. And my family knows when Yeshua the Divine call me, I go and I'll respond. I had a plan, which is not obviously the way it's supposed to always go and grow, but thank you for allowing me to be the vesicle and the vessel here for you today. I guess there was way more pertinent information than earth, air, fire, water that needed to come through today. So thank you for being here and being in this space with me as well.